What is up, everybody? This is Rocket TV, and welcome to another episode of Soul Hunters. Oh yeah. Today we have an arena video. We're going to be waiting on that legendary Drago to pop up tomorrow. Interested in seeing how he'll work out in the Hall of Legends. But until then, going to show you some arena fights. We'll do some fights in the regular arena and in the epic arena. And I'll talk about formations and what kind of works well. All that jazz. And this was a suggestion by the YouTube user Zach. So thanks, Zach. Glad to see people participating. So let's get right to it. The first thing to note is that on this server currently, as I'm cycling through here, you can see I'm level 88, and most of the people are level 89 or 90, which, oh, there's an 88, nice, is not terribly big deal, but there are some characters that get pieces of equipment at 89, as well as the extra skills and everything, so it is a factor. As well, I'm going to probably just go after this 14 spot here, but there are some characters like Drago, for instance, who has really low hit, and being lower leveled than other people is going to really negatively affect how well a character like Drago can get his ultimate off. So that is something to consider when you're going up in arena. But anyways, this is a pretty representative team here of what we've been at least seeing on this server in the arena lately. We have Riley and Ulfang in the front line. And something to note is this is actually probably one of the squishier front lines that you'll see. Typically, it's an Ulfang and let's see, or like a Drago or a Leon. Like here, you've got Ulfang and Leon. So Riley is good, but she is going to combine with Ulfang be a slightly squishier front line here. And then we got Leah for that huge AoE physical, and then we have Gale and Urstag. So when you're going up against a team like this, pardon me. I'm just going to take everybody out here. There's a couple things you want to consider is what you can do to maximize your strategy against their weaknesses, see what the other team is good at and try to neutralize their strengths, and also just capitalize on formations, which kind of really has to do with what I just told you about. So first off, I mean, largely because he's upgraded, but also because he's great here with the armor buff, we're going to be throwing in Leon. He's going to be our main front liner. Other people, we could throw in Drago, but because of Leah, he's not going to be providing that armor buff for everybody in the back line. So he could be a very viable second tank as well. In fact, I very well could run with that, and I might run with that formation. It really depends on if you want to go single target or multi-target here. Let's see. Maybe I'll do this a little bit differently than I normally would and go sort of a line-by-line elimination method, see if this works. So we'll go Drago and Leon to provide just a really beastly front line that is going to be really difficult for the enemy team to deal with. Actually, let's back up here real quick. I forgot. Okay, Urstag. Yeah, and plus that Drago is going to be great against Urstag. He's really just going to stop him in his tracks. So they have nobody here that punishes... backing out. Nobody here that punishes formations or any specific line. So I think I'm just going to stick with that Riley also right there. She's just a great all-around character and should fit in really well against this team. And then just to make things a little bit different, I think we'll throw in a Seraphine. She'll get the charge from the Leah, and then her ult almost definitely should go off, and that should really punish their weak Riley and Wolfang frontline. And then last but not least, we got a couple options. There's Gale or Leah. And I think I'm going to just throw out the Gale. We won't do as much. We could go with the Leah, but with Riley, that's a good amount of AoE damage, but I think we're just going to try to focus on taking out that first line. And so let's see how this works out here. So you can see Drago starting to take a little bit of damage. The Ulfang there is going to really push the early initiative. Drago ult. Okay, hopefully, yep, there we go. And this should take. See, that's you just saw one of the great parts about Riley is that even though she had already spawned, the Seraphine ult did not actually hit her yet. But now, having said all of that, it looks like the just slightly better upgraded team here on my part is going to take route here, and the Leon buff being a huge factor there. Even after Drago going down, we still have got the Leon ult and the armor buff that he also has. So that's going to be a victory. You can see, as stated, Leah just shredding through there for the opponent. But Gale coming in, doing a lot of damage, as well as Riley with some interruption. Seraphine was definitely not as big of a factor as she could have been in that match. Okay. And you're going to see a lot of those teams, at least on my server, again. I mean, let's go in number 5. Fizz, 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 and then one Ariel. Fizz and Ariel. That's pretty common. Fizz and Dr. Zeno, who can then morph into physical. Pardon me. So, at least this stage of the game, we're seeing a lot of physical teams popping up. Okay, let's bounce over to Epic Arena here. I'll show you my squads I got up here. You can see the first squad is a fairly balanced formation between magic and attack. We've got the Leon, and then the Leon Gale for the physical damage, and then Seraphine and Mariana for magic damage. And I like to present a strong first line for a couple of reasons. One, if you have a strong first line, you're less likely to be attacked by an opponent, and every time you aren't attacked, that's an automatic win. So that's something to think about if you're trying to. I know some people might put a chump party in party slot number 1. That way the opponent can't guess and strategize against their strong party, which is a viable option. But just remember that if you do have a strong party up front, you're less likely to be attacked at all. And then here on this second party, it's a little bit of a slow roll with that Dokris there. But he can do a surprising amount of damage, especially with Blood Spear, if he's able to ult. And plus that Blood Spear ults into an Alana and Riley can pump out some damage. So I've seen this party do a surprising amount of work against some people. And then here we have the kind of the leftovers of at least my current team. These are not optimized by any stretch of the imagination. Although you can see that I don't have an Urstag or a Flora who are technically higher upgraded than that Elric, but I do need a stronger front line than Namtar can offer, so that's why he's sitting there. So that's it for defense. And then as far as offense is concerned, let's see. We do have a rule in our guild where we cannot attack guild mates unless they are one spot above us. But I did see one guy over here. He was the problem is I know his formation and all his upgrades are going to be a little difficult for me to deal with. He does have on average better parties than I do. But let's see if we can give this a go. So we got the Raxius and Ariel. So he'll be doing some pretty big AoE magic damage. And then the Slim and Urstag are going to present a lot of single target physical damage, with Slim being able to target the lowest person. So in particular, especially with the AoE magic and the Slim, probably try running a Lucius team here, or run Lucius into them at least. So let's challenge them. We'll take this out. Just take out all of these teams. That way we got full control here. So let's run Lucius for his shield and his magic armor buff. And then a good front liner against these guys would probably be the Drago here. And then let's see. We are running up into a Drago who is probably more upgraded than mine. So let's see about doing an AoE kind of Zerg formation here. See how that'll work. So let's go with Riley, Leah, and then somebody else who has a little bit of survivability. Alana. She has one of the higher magic resistances of the AD, and hopefully the Leah and Riley AoE can wear down some of their lower HP targets enough so that Alana could potentially chain into someone else there. Not a perfect team, but just going for something a little bit different. See if we can out-strategize this opponent's pretty strong first party. Now, for the second party, we know there's a lot of tanks that are left available to him. He could have Leon. There could be Hanzo or Vincent. Probably not so much the Vincent. Don't really see him too much these days. But we'll still start with the Leon. He's our best first party. Or he's our best all-around tank we've got after Drago. And then maybe we'll go with Blood Spear, Gale. Let's try kind of a slow rolly, maybe Dokras crit with his ult, kind of AoE ult situation. See if this can manage to do anything here. And then our last party, let's just throw in our two magic guys. Maybe Ariel. Because, and Namtar and Elric. Why not? It's kind of a unfortunate team. But let's see how these parties do here. And just go right at it. So our goal is to be able to get that Slim or Raxius down before he can take out somebody like Alana, for example, which he just did. But so Riley ulting right now is pretty good. Hopefully we can get that jump in here. And now Raxius did copy the Riley ult, which is not bad. He is, and I've noticed that he does that quite often in arenas, and a Riley ult is usually not his best move since he has low survivability. Okay, awesome. The Ariel went down, and maybe a little bit too early to say, but it's looking like this should be a win. Unless Urstag can go all Super Saiyan on us. Nope. Hopefully it won't happen. I mean, never say never with Urstag. But getting that shield up. Hopefully we can take him out before time runs out. Keep on stunning him out of his attacks here. Oh dear. Time out. Oh, but we got the victory. Cool. Out-damaged him. That's good. You can see Leah doing Leah's thing. If you do not have Leah, I would strongly recommend getting her. She can fit in so many different arena teams, and then she's going to be doing great work for you on any of the non-raid bosses, and even on some of the raid bosses. So she just has, and Crucible of Fire. She has so many uses. I would highly recommend putting her in. Okay, so we got a Leon, Ulfang. So we got the big haste physical damage team here. This is going to be tough for my team. Hopefully, Blood Spear doesn't even get his ult off here. That is the Fear. Okay, Dokras ult, not going to be enough, but... Oh, but the Dokras and Mariana ult together will be enough. Which was kind of the goal there. Crazy to see it working as intended. Cool. So you can see Gale, Mariana, and Dokras all doing damage, despite the fact that Leah came in and trounced. Our Blood Spear didn't do much, but at the same time, Leah was able to feed into our ults, and with that strong Leon tank frontline, we were able to get through. And looks like Enrique is low there. That might be one of the reasons why we were able to capitalize. But cool, yeah, that's a victory. Okay, let's go here. Looks like we got another battle ready for us. Let's see if we can find a... I think Cold might be one of the only non-guild mates in the top 10 there. But this team will present a challenge here. It's a little bit different than the one that he had in Epic Arena there. Well, let's give it a try. See what we can do. So we've got the Ulfang and Leah combo for the massive physical damage. And then we've got Leon for a strong front line and Ariel for the big AoE magic damage. Let's see what we can do about this here. So I might try with the Leon and Lucius to give our team a little bit of armor buffing. Since they are doing a lot of armor debuff and AoE damage, we can take advantage of that and nullify a lot of damage just with their two abilities alone. Let's see here. They did not have anybody who can punish specifically frontliners, which makes Riley a good second frontline choice here. And then I like to bring in, kind of do a slight counter here and bring in the Leah and Gale. So we'll present a little bit of fizz damage as well. We are about 2,000 lower in rating than our opponent. Lucius isn't very upgraded, as well as him being level 90 and having a few more stars on some of his characters. But let's see what this does here. So Leon's going to take some pretty heavy damage, especially in the beginning. Hopefully he can last long enough to throw out an ult. So early Gale ult can be nice. Hopefully the okay, so Leon gets his ult out. The problem is right now that when Leah puts out her ult, or excuse me, when Ariel ults, it's going to be, that's going to be huge. Hopefully, I mean, it is not looking good, but never say never. Now I'm going to say never. Yeah, that's over. So, not the perfect team. It didn't quite work as intended. Plus, I mean, we're going up against full 6 stars and a 7-star. And trying something a little bit different with a 4-star character. And we've got Leah sitting at 5 stars as well. But Ulfang is definitely one of the big people that my party does not, or my team setups usually don't do very well against. So let's have a look at Drago while we're waiting here. So here's his ultimate ability. Looks like he's going to shrink people, and then they're going to take extra damage and they can't heal. But it looks like they can dodge, higher dodge, so maybe Hanzo will be a really great tank against Drago here. And they have better basic attacks. More health equals more damage. So lowers his hit rate. So, yeah, even though it says he has high armor, we'll have to see if he's a... it's better to bring in some auto attackers or the magic teams. So it's too early to tell just by reading his abilities. All right, probably cut out to the next arena fight here in just a minute. But before we get there, I did have a couple other questions that were asked on the channel earlier. Bill asked what server playing on, and that is server 24 here on OpenSea, and I am in the Humble King Guild. There are a couple good guilds. We are the #1 guild on the server, but there are at least a couple other active ones. Eclipse is right up there, very active, and then Relic is, at least fairly active. And then let's see, Illuminous wow, verbal diarrhea asked about some strategies on raid dungeons, specifically chapter 9. Okay, well, and on. So chapter 9, we have the tree, and he has a couple abilities. He has an AoE damage as well as an AoE damage stun that he uses periodically. I think it's about 3 times a fight. It's been a while since I raided chapter 9. And then he also has his basic auto attack, which happens very quickly and doesn't really do a lot of damage. But you will want somebody who is at least fairly strong to be in the front lines there. He also knocks a frontliner towards the back, so that's something to be wary of. If you have some really weak people right behind a strong front line, then that can be an issue. I'm just going to replay some matches here, and while I'm talking about these raids. So the chapter 9 boss, I would recommend bringing in Flora. She's going to be a big part of at least the chapter 9 and probably chapter 10 raid bosses. After that, physical AD starts to get a lot more life leech. By the time you and your guild should be reaching that area, you have access to a lot of the life leech items, and so Flora won't be such a big necessity. Other than Flora, it's just going to be your typical single target damage dealers. He does have higher than average armor, so magic damage dealers like Alistair would be preferred, but definitely not necessary. Then let's move on to chapter 10. I believe that's chapter 10 is, let's back out here. I think that's the Tholen, or not, excuse me, not Tholen, but what's his face? Gosh, I don't even have him. I can't believe I can't think of his name right now. I feel so stupid when I see this. Torsen. There we go. So that's Torsen. So Torsen is a big swap from the chapter 9 boss. You definitely want to be bringing in some magic dealers for him. You're also going to want to have Flora there. She is Again, great. He has an AoE damage and blind ability, which is apart from his high defense. And the blind lasts a very long time. So your physical damage dealers are going to be almost useless throughout the fight. So Flora is great. Other than Flora, I also like bringing Mariana, although I did have a very upgraded Mariana. If you do not have an upgraded Mariana, you definitely don't need her. But she can be nice for her crit that she'll provide all your magic users, as well as the heal, which is not a huge deal. Her heal is pretty underwhelming, but it does exist. Other than that, we have a couple different characters you can go for. I had Alistair upgraded at that time quite a bit, and he does a lot of work against Torsen. You also have your either Seraphines, your Selines, and your Osirises. They're all great single target magic damage dealers. I know Seraphine, I'm a really big fan of Seraphine with her slow, as well as the magic armor debuff that she brings to the table. Then again, Celine also has a magic armor debuff in her 4th skill, and Alistair has the magic armor debuff when he turns opponents into a duck. So you have all of those abilities. I don't have Osiris, but I would have to assume that she would be good against Torsen, as well as actually Arachna. She is almost never used by anybody, and I don't really have her upgraded all that much either. But I could see her being a really useful character to bring into the Chapter 10 raid boss fight. Other than that, the Chapter 11 boss fight is a lot easier. You're going to want a high magic resistance frontliner like Vincent or Namtar. I had Namtar highly upgraded, and up until that point, he was a staple of all my arena teams and campaign and whatnot. He falls off later by the time you get to Oranges. I mean, I don't have him at Orange, but I've heard that he is somewhat useless. But having said that, he was great for his lift and his ultimate for the knockback, because the boss can do single target stun that deals damage over time, which if it isn't interrupted, has a potential to go through your team. However, if you at least have a high magic damage tank, that shouldn't be such an issue. Other than that, your typical single boss or single target damage dealers are going to be optimal. You've got the usual suspects in Alana, Urstag. If you have Slim at that point, I believe he would be starting to get pretty good. We have, let's see, I brought in Alistair for the duck. I know that oftentimes all of those polymorph and debuff effects work against the Chapter 11 boss, so they're all useful. So hopefully that answers your questions about the earlier raid fights. And after this battle is done, I think I'll cut out, and we will come back when the arena refresh time has... Oh, no, there we go. Arena refresh complete. Never mind. So, let's see. This should be... let's... I don't really want to fight any guild mates, but the problem is those are about the only people other than this cold fellow who I honestly don't think I have the team to be able to defeat here. Let's see. Yeah, not super stoked about any of these, honestly. Let's try a fight like here, even though we have a very upgraded Drago. Just more to try out something a little bit different. I think I'm going to stick with my usual suspects here, but throw out the Riley and then put in Alana and Bloodspear. I mean, Bloodspear is not the best. More just like having fun with him and seeing how fights turn out. I have had his ultimate go off a couple times in Arena, and if it does, and your team is still relatively healthy, it usually means good things. Let's see how this works out. So we do have the Leah here, and Leah is down. Yeah, never mind. I was going to say they are probably going to get their ultimates before our team will get their ultimates. So at least we got the Leon up. Now hopefully Alana can put up her shield before somebody... Okay. So, no guarantees. It's actually close there. Yep, there's Mariana. Never mind. That's what I had a feeling. That goes to show you that Leah is not always going to be the answer there. She got taken out crazy quick. Okay, well now I will be cutting out until the next arena refresh, so we'll be right back. Alright, welcome back guys. So we have another arena battle waiting for us. Let's see, just keep on trying, go get some higher teams. Why not? So it looks like this one is we got Ulfing and Hanzo here. So a little bit weaker against the magic type teams. And then we have Leah, Alana, and Gale. So they're going to do a lot of damage to the front line fast, and some pretty heavy damage to the whole team in total. So I'll see if I can maybe do something a little bit wonky here. Maybe go with a more magic-oriented team to try to punish the Hanzo and Ulfing that are sitting there. So we'll go... I know Mariana is not necessarily the best character to use in arenas. We'll see if she is able to do anything here. And we need one more character. Feeling the maybe Drago, just to really beef up that front line. So let's see how this works. Just give it a go. So we can expect Leah to continue to punish us pretty good here. Hopefully Drago can get off his ults. That's good. Alright, so Mariana's starting to charge. Seraphine is getting off her ult, which is awesome. And Mariana shoots. Hopefully Dokris can ult before he dies from a Gale ult. Now it's it's game over. Well, it was a kind of a gambit. And again, a lot of the Seraphine is my only fully upgraded person there. Both Dokris and Mariana are not fully upgraded. And having an upgraded Dokris there might have made a big difference, especially since he got that ult off. Okay, well, we'll take another break here and be right back with another arena battle here in just a second. Okay, we are back, guys. So, last match, tried to get a little bit cute against an opponent. Let's see if we can, or I'll just show you the kind of all fizz. Just has basic synergy on my part. It's not going to really counter the team at all, except for, the Leon having that armor buff for the team is always nice. But here it's just all about attack damage synergy and armor debuff on their team. Let's see if it can stop the Wolfang and Hanzo front line. So, Gale is... yeah, that's bad. Gale's able to hit Hanzo pretty well, but you saw there, I mean, just a little bit of the... they definitely had the initiative, and Hanzo not dying and instead getting his ult off. Big difference there. Okay, that was just a big route. Did I mention big? Yeah, I thought I did. That was just a defeat. A defeat and a half. Okay, well, that will do it for now, for today at least. I'll be back tomorrow with a video on the legendary Drago. See if we can get him going up. Oh, hey, let's watch a defeat here. This guy came back and kicked our teams in the behind. So this looks like it's going to be a chump team right here, more or less. So the opponent was able to see our front teams and our other formations and kind of build around those. I did not go in and swap those up, which is definitely something you'll want to do if you're higher up or looking to maintain your position. Okay, yep, they about what you'd expect. Alright, and that last one's just going to be a roll, but this one should be at least somewhat interesting. See how this works here. We do have that Leah and Ariel and Wolfang combo. Just shows you, Blood Spear, he's sitting at 3 stars, and he'll never be super tanky, but right now that lack of upgrade is really showing. And Alana going down without being able to say much about it. Randy's just going to do her thing where she'll throw out smalls and die. Yep, there you go. So a pretty big defeat right there. Yeah, it's at this point there are some good Magic teams to be had. And I'm sure especially once we get the opportunity to upgrade some people, we'll see that going on. But right now, I mean, it's partially the way I have my teams upgraded. But the AD is kind of the answer. And as I mentioned over here in Arena, I mean, you'll see most teams have 1, maybe 2 magic damage dealers, and it's almost all Fizz. So if you're looking to kind of get a head start on some upgrades heading into the 80s and heading towards 90, I would highly recommend getting Wolfang, Leon, Drago, or Hanzo. He's debatable, but those are all decent frontline heroes. And then you have your Leahs, your Gales, your potentially Riley. She's also frontline, but got her Slim. See a lot of Slim. And Alana is a pretty decent choice as well. Okay, anyways, back to the Hall of Legends. We'll be coming out with that video tomorrow. And until then, let me know what you think or what you would like to see in the comments down below. And if you wouldn't mind, you could always drop a like and a subscribe, That'd be cool. But until next time, this has been Rocket TV, and see you next time. Bye-bye.